What is good, y'all, man? D-Lo is back in the headlines. Like, I think it's something that happens consistently when it comes to when you're playing with the Lakers. You always going to end up in the headlines, man. If you have a bad game, they're going to put you on Front Street. You have a good game, they'll say, good job. Thank you, LeBron. No matter what, you're never going to get the full recognition or the patience, I think, from when you play on some of these teams, specifically like the Lakers on Front Street. I remember in the beginning of the season, D-Lo was saying he wanted to be like Derek White. Y'all remember this?
I want to be Derek White. He doesn't get a lot of credit for what he does. Makes all the winning plays. And that's who I want to be. My inspiration has been Derek.
But y'all on his head because D-Lo has not been speaking to media. And if we can look at his stats, he's been recently delegated to the bench. And, I mean, this is a guy who was starting off the season pretty solid averages, 14-6, about 15-6 actually, shooting almost 50% from the field. But recently, he's been delegated to a bench role. We had some games here. You're talking about 30 points, 12, 10, 15, 20, couple assists, some dimes, double-doubles. He was doing his thing. But as he got to a shaky December, where his averages went from 17 or almost 18 a game to in about 6.5 assists to 10 points a game and 5 assists, and we went from winning the in-season tournament. You were doing your thing, and then we started losing. They made some adjustments. As you can see, I guess for him it's been more difficult for him to accept that he's been coming off the bench and trying to find a rhythm with like the up and downs and the in and outs and all this stuff. So he hasn't been talking to the media. And
my flow stay in the pick and roll.
He went on his podcast to talk about it.
Stay in the pick and roll when it comes to the game. So if I can tap into pick and rolls and recognize how they guard me, it allows me to control the game because I can get to what I know is working or might not work. It's like playing the game within the game, but I'm in my space. I ain't just
dude is really on his podcast, chowing down,
catching and shooting. Now I'm in y'all space. If I miss, y'all took me out the game. Y'all just took me out the game. If I'm missing, if that's all I'm doing is catching and shooting. But if I'm getting to do what I know I can do, which honestly, I feel like that's when I'm at my best, when I just have a roller and a shooter. Somehow, some way around me. Just a roller and a shooter. Whatever else in the other two spots. I get into my flow state in the pick and roll.
Basically, he's talking about here, he's not being able to play the two things of what is his best of his ability. I kind of agree. D-Lo's game is that. I mean, he's a true point. He can score. He can definitely get hot. And he's somebody who just needs the ball in his hand in order to make plays. He plays really well off the pick and roll. He can go to that and make stuff happen. But the glaring issue here, bro, man, is you are on the Lakers. And this ain't the Lakers when you was able to kind of fool around, do whatever you wanted to do. You could play through your mistakes, all this stuff. Those Mamba teams where Kobe was on his way out, watching them play with disgust. These are not those teams anymore. We have championship aspirations for real. And we are trying to capitalize on the end of LeBron James and Anthony Davis' careers. We need to get all that we can get in terms of success out of them as an organization because we're trying to put together a solid squad for what they need around them. D-Lo, you are talented. You are somebody we can count on the end of the shot clock to make something happen, and we can kick you the ball, and we feel like you can knock down those shots. But D-Lo says, I don't want to do just that. I don't want to just stand in the corner and wait for the ball to be swung my way. I want to be able to make things happen. Unfortunately, I think D-Lo has a game where he can still make stuff like that happen. I don't think necessarily he's on a huge decline. I mean, we're talking about a guy who was just an all-star the other year. You know what I mean? And then had to go from being maybe the number one option just to the second, the third option. Let's check it out. All right, so we went from those Nets teams, which dang, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but I guess it was, where he was going off, man. That All-Star year, 21 a game, you know what I mean? 7 dimes. Went to the Warriors, spent half of the season there. Killing. Still hooping. 24 a game, 6.5 assists. And then went to Minnesota. He was still hooping, bro. Finished out the season, 22 a game, 7 assists. And with little lesser minutes, and I think he's never been a huge minute, like super high output player, but he's been able to perform what he's been given. He's still averaging 19, 20, 18 a game. And then you somebody who last year went from averaging 17 and a half and 6 assists to now being a little bit unsure of what my role is going to be. I'm going to the bench. I'm starting. I'm back on the bench. It's hard for me to get into, like he says, a flow doing what I do. He's a career 36% three-point shooter, nothing insane. So obviously the strength of his game is not just shooting threes. It is being able to make things happen with the ball. Unfortunately, though, I think the biggest realization is that you were a guy who was an all-star just a couple years ago. You are used to being able to have your way and being able to be one of the number one sources of offense, to now you got to be behind not only LeBron but also AD. And now we're giving Austin Reeves an opportunity in front of you. I mean, we see with a guy like Cam Reddish, who was at one point the number one focal point of the offense. Now he has been delegated to somebody. You got to catch and shoot, brother. We know you never in your life have you ever had that much pressure on you to just catch and shoot, and you can find other ways where you can give you the ball at the end of the shot clock and you make stuff happen every play. Now you catch and shoot. You get 4 shots. You better make them, or we on your head after the game. You've been delegated useless. You've been relegated to uselessness if you aren't making these jump shots. And I think D'Lo is starting to get a little bit of that. But it's been more recent than not that D'Lo has been somebody who's been able to kind of put the ball in his hands and make plays happen, get creative with the ball. Now he's got to stand there and watch. And when we swing you the ball, you better make the shot. And if not, you coming out. You foul, you coming out. And I think that's that point a lot in a lot of guys' careers that it's just something doesn't click and it doesn't make sense. You've been the man your whole life. You were the guy that heralded a lot of those teams in Montverde. You were the number one option in Ohio State. And for the most part of your NBA career, you were one of the top offensive options. We could swing you the ball and you could make things happen whatever you wanted to do it. And you could command the ball wherever you went. Now, no. If LeBron wants you to stand and shoot, you get to stand and shoot. Other than that, we're not swinging you the ball. And I think that's part of the issue. But I think D'Lo's still got a lot of game left. I don't see an issue with him being able to go somewhere and be able to make things happen. But now a lot of the issues start to become fit. Where can we put you plug and play in order that you can perform to the best of your ability? Because a lot of guys, like I say, at a certain point, you've got to be able to be multifaceted. And I think D'Lo has a lot of ability offensively. He's even trying to lock in and dial in defensively as well, become a little more active. You are a 6'5" point guard. Guarding point guards, I mean, you should be able to do a little bit better. You're not the most athletic guy, but you could, you know what I mean, maybe a little more of a standout defender, of course. And it looks like he's trying to dial in on that end. But I always say, you got to be multifaceted because you never know what you're going to walk into. You're never going to get the opportunity to just play however you want to play. Cam Reddish is a guy who got the hezzy pull up on fast breaks. 3. If I miss it, don't worry about it. I can shoot it again next time. Now, you in a position in the NBA for the most of your career, if you miss a shot, sub. And a lot of people don't know how to mentally adjust to that. And D'Lo's going through that right now. He's not getting no burn that he's used to getting. I mean, look. Look at the sporadic stats he's had over the last month. He had a couple games you didn't play. You went through a couple games where you only getting 9, 10, 4 shots. In the most recent game, you coming off the bench. We'll give you 8. Catch and shoot. You don't get to cross people over, make the dime. You don't get to do none of that. You don't get to touch the rock on a lot of trips down on offense. Sorry. It's unfortunate because a lot of that stuff gets magnified, and you feel a lot of that pressure coming to your head. I think a lot of times, specifically when you're on a team like the Lakers. So I hate to see it, but dang, that's pretty crazy. D'Lo's been making a lot of subtle shots of coaching and his role on the team. Regardless, Laker fans want him gone, so they can agree that he can at least be traded. Oh no. So it's ought to be interesting. See how things move forward, man.